So before we get into today's video, I want to quickly highlight the distributing company that put out these films, and that company is called Something Weird Video, and they specialized in putting out all kinds of exploitation films, weird, fucked up scare tactic films where they're trying to like scare kids away from drinking and driving, marijuana films, LSD films, trailer compilations, smut, sleaze, gore, black exploitation, like everything that was greasy and messed up. Something Weird Video was putting it out, and it was started way back in 1990, 2 years before I was born, and it was put out by a guy named Mike Vraney, who has passed away since. But we owe a lot to that man, because if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be so readily available to acquire films like this. Like, to this day, I think Something Weird Video still owns the rights to a lot of this stuff. So with that being said, on with the show. So when you're talking about independent filmmaking, some person that doesn't get brought up enough is Herschel Gordon Lewis. And he's a director from the 60s. He made films in the 70s. He made all sorts of crazy, messed up films. But he was known for being the godfather of gore. And deservingly so. There was actually a really, really exquisite box set put out that was complete with like all the films and a really nice book. I forget the company that put that out, but man, it was really nice. I actually got an opportunity to see one, but I didn't buy it because, for whatever reason, it was probably like $3,000 at Cinema One, because as we know, Cinema One is a burn. But we're going to cover his Blood trilogy series, which consists of Blood Feast, Color Me Blood Red, and of course 2000 Maniacs. So Blood Feast, I should add, is a video nasty. So we will be including this video in the video nasty playlist of Bluntzilla versus the video nasties. I'm not sure if any of the other films were actually qualified as video nasty, so let's just give it a quick little how do you do. Yeah, it looks like only Blood Feast was the video nasty, and in my opinion, Blood Feast is like the least of your worries when it comes to the series in terms of gore and stuff that I would consider offensive. So we'll start it off with Blood Feast, actually, because to be perfectly honest, and as some people might be offended by this, but this is the least favorite of mine in the series. So I should point out that Herschel Gordon Lewis was responsible for doing the score, responsible for shooting the film, directing, editing, like everything. He did everything, man. It's great inspirational stuff to think about. This film stars, it's introducing Connie Mason, who you may have read about in Playboy. But basically, the story of this film goes like this. There's a woman who has a beautiful young daughter, and she wants to throw her the best 16th birthday party of all time. So she goes to this caterer whose name is Ramses, and she orders this very unique and expensive and rare sort of catering service. And that catering service is actually put forth by a cult leader who's basically solo in this cult. It's sort of like an Egyptian messed up sort of cult run by one dude, I guess, is just out of his fucking mind. His eyebrows look crazy, but he accepts the challenge of being the caterer, and he goes about his business killing young girls and taking different parts for them in order to make this exquisite piece for the celebration, if you want to call it that. There's a very graphic scene where like this chick's tongue's pulled out, and like it looks like he has like a cow's tongue. Like, it's ridiculously big. Like this is not from a woman's mouth. Like, especially a small chick. Like come on, it's out of hand. It's gross. It's awesome. Like, there's really good scenes of like chicks getting like fucking like cut and stabbed, and a good bathroom kill. You got everything in this film, man. It's really good. I believe it's actually before Psycho, and yeah, man, it's definitely one of your good go-to gore films. And matter of fact, later on he actually made a film called Gore Girls and another film called Wizard of Gore, but we'll leave those for another video. Blood Feast, love that shit. Moving on, he did a film called 2000 Maniacs, which is all about this small town that they're having this their bicentennial, which is basically like the celebration of the place being around for 100 years or 50 years, whatever it is, right? And there's a party happening and all this, and basically there's this group of kids that comes across the town misses the, you know, the turn to the interstate and ends up at this small town, and basically become, you know, pawns to all these town folk, because guess what? The town folk are actually fucking ghosts. They're just having a hoot, you know what I mean? Taking out all of these teenagers. Funny thing about this, there's some of the most graphic, fucked up stuff I've ever seen in movies. And these are like so low budget, but they just work, man. Like there's a scene where like there's this giant rock and it's dropped on this guy. They put like a dude in a barrel with spikes. Was that this film? I might have just mixed movies up, but you know, like a horse, they tie a guy, like, you know, all of his limbs to different horses and then smack the horse's ass. He gets, you know, you can imagine. And it's good. It's like a real hick kind of movie. This is the film that I haven't seen this in quite a few years, but I really do enjoy loving it. Me and my dad, matter of fact, we made fun of it all the time, because they're like the song. There's a song in here called the South shall rise again, the South shall rise again, and we like wrote our own version of it, and it was totally like explicit and graphic. I'm not going to repeat it here because that's how messed up it was, but you know, you get good gore in this film, cannibalism, all that kind of stuff. So you're in for a good turn, or a good time with this one. Now, moving on to the last of the Blood Trilogy series, and my favorite, Color Me Blood Red. This movie is all about a painter, right? And this painter is having painter's block. And one day he decides, or he doesn't decide, but rather by accident, some blood gets on a painting in his you know, his studio, and he decides, holy shit, that's an amazing color of red. And he takes it to his like, this is a struggling painter, right? So he takes it to this dickhead that works at you know, like the gallery, and he's like, wow, this is amazing, like we need it. And you know, he's the painter become very anal. Like he went from like wanting money for anything, like his paintings, to being like, no, I want this, and you know, that kind, like being a prick about it. But he runs out of blood. Because he keeps cutting himself. He's getting woozy. He kills his fucking girl, and then he's just picking up chicks off the beach and trying to kill them to get paint. And I gotta say, the painting that he does, it's actually on the back of here. That's not going to do it justice, but it's almost like this Japanese exploitation. It's like an exploitation poster of the 70s, but made in the 60s, and it's awesome. And I'd actually love to get a good like print off of that and hang it up down here. That'd be cool. I've actually begun to hang some stuff down here over on the door and stuff. But yeah, man, Color Me Blood Red, painter that uses blood as paint, and it's great. This is my favorite one. I love it. When it comes to greasy gore, you know, Herschel Gordon Lewis is your man. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for watching the video, and check out the Facebook page. I got it up there, right there. You can give it a follow. The link will be in the description. And yeah, I just appreciate everybody for watching the videos, for real, because it's quarantine, it sucks, and this gives me something to do, gives you something to watch. So hats off to everybody that's working the fucking front line. Thanks for watching.